Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Stray for the PS4. It came out this year in 2022, developed by Blue 12 Studios and published by Annapurna Interactive, and there will be spoilers up ahead just so you know. But first, a little backstory. So I remember a while back when they released the game trailer, and it just looked fantastic. Like, you control a cat with some platforming and there are some neon lights and everything. I was like, this is interesting. This is unique in its own way. And then the game got delayed and I was worried that it might be cancelled due to COVID and all things that were happening at the time. But lucky for me, it was released. So now I can play it. So the game starts you out outside of a great wall. And you're in a tunnel with lots of pipes with your cat friends. And by the way, you are playing an orange cat. So you interact with your cat buddies as doing cat things, I guess, and you fall asleep together on a cardboard box. And the next morning, the rain is gone and the sun is up, and you go out to explore the outer walls. And this section basically works as to like the tutorial, how you use the camera, how you zoom, how you do all kinds of things. And usually it's like the mechanics are simple. You interact with things with like triangle, and usually when you're supposed to jump from one place, like a pipe or like to a fence or whatever, you just press the X button. And I love the outside because it's like this after civilization thing going on. There are lots of overgrown things and rusty pipes, and it's like it sets the vibe. And I really like these apocalyptic settings, because usually you think of like in Fallout, it's everything is like a desert and everything is dead and dying. But usually if nature is left to whatever it's doing, it just grows beyond control, and I like this a lot. And the outdoor segments ends with you trying to jump over a pipe with your cat friends, and you fall down into the black abyss, and you wake up in a badly lit tunnel, and you're limping, you're obviously injured, and you pass out. But there's the thing about this, you were limping before, but when you wake up you don't limp anymore, so I guess it's the magic of video games or something. And I did some exploring, and I ended up in a dead city, or like an abandoned city. And there are some puzzles here. You learn how to interact with your environment. You pick up a bucket and you throw it into a fan, and it stops so you can progress. And also during this segment, you're guided with a digital trail of neon lights which tells you where to go. So during this segment, you also encounter these creatures which have like one eyes and really small, like a rat, but much more weirder. They're called the Zergs, and they are out to get you. So you learn how to run, hold R2, and if they get on you, just tap circle to throw them off. And after some time you outrun them, and there's more jumping puzzles. So you eventually get in contact with this entity that has been guiding you through the dead city. It turns out it's an AI, and it's stuck inside a computer, so you help it get like a little robotic body through a little like battery puzzle. And it gives you a backpack, and it's kind of a funny scene where if you know a thing or two about cats, if you put like something on a cat, it's very uncomfortable for him. So he gets a backpack like 3D printed on him, and he just puts his like feet down to the ground, and he kind of crawls on the ground because he's not used to a backpack. And the AI can somehow communicate with the cat so you can understand, and it becomes later in the game like this universal translator, so you know what the robots, I guess spoilers, in the game are trying to tell you or what they're trying to say. So eventually you leave B12's apartment and you grab some keys and a code in a dark lit room. You have a flashlight on B12. It's like a little flying drone thing. And during your adventure you need to rebuild B12's memory of what happened, because he's been in this computer so long that his memory has been corrupted. And you do this by collecting postcards and things that reminded him of his past. Like you can walk up to like a plant or like a photo, as I said, or some graffiti with some slogans, and he kind of like remembers some part of his past. So eventually you reach the slums, and for some reason the robots here are really afraid of you. So I guess they don't know what a cat is exactly. So you walk up to one of the guardians or guards and interact, and BB12 helps out with the translation, and they agree that you can stay if you promise that you don't eat any one of them. And I thought that was kind of funny. So I was told that to get outside again, I needed to talk to a robot called Momo. He or she knows much more about the outside, I guess. So I was told to go like on the top of a rooftop. There's like an orange neon sign. I need to get there. So there was some puzzle platforming. But before I did that, I did some exploring and I found Clementine's notebook. And I think that comes up later in the story. And I just exploring the robot city, doing cat stuff. So I slept on a bed. I got like a paper bag on my head that inverted the controls, and I was like, what is going on? And did a whole lot of other stuff, exploring basically. And then back to the Momo Quest. I needed some detergent to pay or give to a vendor to get some electrical wiring, so another robot called Grandma could knit me a poncho, so I can give that poncho to another robot called Elliot because he was shivering and being cold, and I don't know how that works with machines, but whatever. So when he stopped shivering, he fixed like a remote locating tracker so I could move on with the quest. And I'm not going to talk too much more about it because I don't want to spoil the entire game for people, because I believe that this game needs to be played. And that's just it. So gameplay. Help the robotic citizens with their problems and in return gain access to the surface. Control. D-pad up opens up the inventory window. D-pad left is the flashlight on and off. The left stick moves the cat around. The right stick is camera, and it has the inverted function in the options menu, so that's good. So it's a good thing to have more control because I don't like inverted. The triangle button interacts with things, like you can rub against machines and you can sleep on sofas and do all kinds of cat things. And the X button, when prompted, you can jump. So if there's like you jump on a ledge or a table or anything, you get like a little X icon marking you can jump. I also found out that if you just want to do rapid succession of jumps, you just hold the X button. Really, really practical. The options menu brings up the options. The circle button makes you meow like a cat, which is kind of cute. And the L2 button zooms and the R2 button runs. And certain times we interact with an object with the triangle button and you kind of scratch like sofas or like doors and whatnot, like cats do. Graphics. This game looks really good. It was made in the Unreal 4 engine. Every environment looks lived in, and it's not a big spoiler, but the humans are gone, so the machine tries to preserve humanity or the thought of humanity. So if you walk into a space, there are open books and bookshelves and plants and everything looks lived in. I like that concept. Sound and music. Jan van der Kristen made the music for this game, and it's an ambient soundtrack. It reminds me a bit of Mechanarium, and it's on Spotify, and I really like the opening track that I have for this podcast. It's called The Secret Lab. It has this vibe with synths that I like. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. So there is a thing about the physics engine. It's not too bad, but it's kind of funny, more or less. So if you get prompted to jump on a table or a surface of any kind, usually some cans or jars or something on it. So if you jump on a thing like an object, it can get like just sent flying like all over the place, and usually with high speeds. So I don't think they had in mind like cats are gracious and they don't jump into things, but it's kind of funny when you jump on a table and all these things on it just fly off. And I don't know. There was also this thing where I think it was in the Dead City. I was going to like transfer from one scene to another, and I had like something in my mouth that was carrying like something. And when I jumped through and crossed to the other scene, the fuse or what it was just got stuck in the air. So, and I was like, I gotta take up my camera and take a photo out of it. But when I picked my camera up, it was like, well, then it was gone. So, a little funny thing. In conclusion, I wrote, yes, absolutely. It's a gorgeous looking game. And I also like cats a lot. So I don't really have anything bad to say about this game. I think Charlie said it best, Penguin Zero on YouTube, that if this game was about anything else than a cat, I wouldn't play it. So I agree with that. It's an interesting concept because cats normally like to platform. They try to find like the highest place in a room just because they can, and they climb stuff. And one of the other things that happens in the game, you get prompted to push things off like edges, like cans and whatnot. And that is totally what a cat would do in the end. They are mischievous and they do what they want. So I don't know what more to say. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.